what Top Esports might try to cook for themselves. The Akali gets respected from Creme, and WE will ban that away. One more left on the board for Top Esports after banning the Yorick away from Cube.
Is it Varus, or is it going to continue to be that Orianna? Giving over Varus to a player like Taeyoon does mean that there's some options in bottom lane. They could also be thinking about the top lane matchup here with Yorick. If you're trying to ban that champion away, what are you looking for? Maybe grabbing an Ornn here for 369. They're going to make the trade. Varus for Yunara. I have to imagine that this is advantageous towards the Varus matchup. Even with the changes, this patch on 25-16, for him to be more on hit, we've been seeing players still go towards the poke build, and I still think it is incredibly strong, and the ability to outrange Yunara before she gets any time to hit you with these Unleash stacks.
There it is. Monki throws down the Olaf, the only jungler to have locked in this Viking multiple times throughout Split 3, and one of 2 junglers to have played it in the entirety of 2025. Kanavi, funnily enough, has also played Olaf one time back in Split 1, and he has not looked back since. But when you have something like Annie locked in, you can go for an assassin jungler to try and set up for. Zed has been the most consistent option for Kanavi in the past. That is getting hovered right now. We'll see if he locks it in, but they might just wait and try to go for a priority support instead.
I really like the fact that we've also gotten this consistent pairing from WE. The last time we saw this Olaf, it was paired alongside having the Renata. So, ooh, this is really tough. I feel like you've set yourself up to play later in the game when Olaf hits his 1 and 2 item power spike. But the lanes are going to be really tough to play. You're playing Varus Karma into Yunara and Renata. This is, I think, a tough ask here from WE. You're asking your bottom lane to have to lose with grace. And this does allow for JackeyLove and Hong to be really, really aggressive and abusive. They can even move in for some specific jungle timers as well.
Are we expecting a poke build still from Varus at this point? Because it would.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get into an auto attack war versus an Olaf. That sounds insanely miserable. Yeah, I'd have to say.
Ornn gets sniped away by Top Esports here.
We get into the back half. I like that we have the Ornn taken away, and Bessa's also gone. Renekton's potentially a champion that they can start to think about. Raaf, I want to kind of flip it onto you. As Kanavi, someone who has been known to play so many different junglers, I'm expecting this to be 369 pick, but what are you thinking about for Kanavi? What are some junglers that you would think would work well here into the Olaf?
I mean, Zed's fine. The only thing is that through bailout, that can be difficult because if you're not able to get your full burst through both the original health bar as well as the Renata bailout, and he's able to get a quick kill, then you kind of feel useless as Zed later on. But it doesn't seem like Top Esports have many other options to lock in blindly for Kanavi, or at least knowing what WE have, and they really want to save counterpick for 369. So I think at the end of the day, you can still synergize well with Annie to at least snowball and accelerate yourself early on.
This is going to be tough. It means that Top Esports will not have any real ways of stopping their opponents from moving forward. I like this as a really smart adaptation. Now they have the Shen alongside it. You know there's no Jarvan thanks to Fearless in that last game. WE might have set themselves up for a fantastic time here in Game 3. A massive upset here. Keeps their dreams alive of potentially reaching the top of the bottom and the bottom half of Group Ascend, making it in the 5th place. The Ahri matchup's not particularly easy, but you get pushed very early on. Okay.
All I'm going to say, Serpent's Fang is going to be, or is going to have to be rushed early on for Kanavi. I think if you do not get Serpent's Fang by at least your 2nd item, you are playing with fire and asking to challenge both Cube's timing on his Stand United, as well as the shielding, the small shielding that you get from Renata, plus the shield from Olaf W. But Top Esports could completely eradicate that advantage by just getting and gifting Kanavi a bunch of kills early on with this Annie point-and-click setup.
Well, let's look at these lanes right now. I think this is a difficult lane to play in topside. Obviously, 369 will have the range advantage from the Gnar, but while in mini, Cube can actually find some early lane aggressiveness, especially with the Shadow Dash. If he has, with the Twilight Assault, maybe if he takes something like Exhaust or Ignite in this matchup, actually could solo kill him quite a few times here. So while you have a winning matchup in bottom lane, this kind of feels like a dub. I would say WE have a very solid, straightforward composition that I don't know if Top Esports properly answer.
They have supportive pieces around their two main carries in Monki and Taeyoon. For WE in the past, when we look at that miracle run that they were able to manifest in Split 2 playoffs against Top Esports of all teams, this was the formula. Not necessarily the exact same champions that you see here, but it was the winning formula. Always try and play and give Taeyoon and Monki the world to carry through against Top Esports. Whereas when we look at the composition on the other side, Alk, as you mentioned it before, you're going to have to really bank on JackeyLove and Hong on not completely losing lane against this Yunara and Renata setup.
Right. A very tense game 3 here. One where WE would find their 3rd series win of Split 3, and finally up against a team not named FPX. Would be an insane one to find here at the very end of a season, and for Top Esports, who are trying to lock themselves as the best team of the regular season.
Top Esports can help solidify that position as the 1st seed by the end of the Rumble stage with a win against WE in this final game, whereas WE could look to try and escape the 7th, 8th place seeding and get themselves a better matchup against one of the weaker teams in Group Nirvana and further increasing their chances of making a deeper playoffs run. We see that both team compositions have been locked in. We've yet to see the pan over to Summoner's Rift. I'm hoping that there's not a technical difficulty that's awaiting us on the other side of this graphic.
Yay!
Oh, let's hit the rift for game 3!
欢迎来到英雄联盟。敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
Raafaa, quickly, I'm going to test your knowledge here. Olaf passive. Go, quickly.
The lower your HP, the more attack speed and lifesteal you gain.
Correct. Zed passive.
Against targets that are below 50% HP, you apply an empowered auto attack that deals magic damage. And against jungle monsters, there is no cooldown.
Correct. And the passive for Zed is target max HP damage. So really tough here. You're kind of saying, okay, well, Monki wants to be low HP. Kanavi's like, I can do that. I can help you with that. And, you know, help you out with the skirmishing there. Taeyoon is top lane.
Whoa.
Is Taeyoon going to solo into the Gnar? I mean, it's not a great matchup for the Gnar, but this is one way to avoid the Varus and the Karma lane. Okay, we are getting some fresh cookery here.
Cube is laning with Vampire into the 2v2.
What the hell?
This is sick. This is sick.
All right. I mean, Cube can continue to be, you know, a champion that's going to be good on low resources. Kind of sucks because you would prefer to have your tank to have a little bit more gold. But I just don't know if the shield is necessarily, like, real, right? Because you're getting poked out. You're not getting auto-attacked in this lane as the Shen versus Varus Karma. And junglers are going to the opposite side to the map. So, 2 ranged top laners, Zed, Olaf.
Oh my goodness.
Have fun.
And there's no real CC between either of these 2v2s other than 369 going into Mega Form. So, there's a world where we just get an all-out scrap between both junglers and top laners. Now, Taeyoon does have the health advantage because he's been able to at least chunk 369 with the 575 into, I think, is a 500 auto attack range from Mini Gnar. So that's the advantage that they're trying to play for. But because Zed clears this jungle so fast, he's going to arrive. And watch how 369 is trying to keep his mega form about to... Okay, I thought Kanavi was going to...
You can't do that, though. You can't do it when you're
lane.
playing into range, right? Like, range allows you to bully him in that way. So, I like this. I think the experimentation is really interesting. The problem that I have is that even with Zed being in the area, like, you really want to keep up your efficiency as Zed. You already clear the jungle incredibly fast, and if you miss a timer there, you give a window for Monki to fight back here in this lane. So, Looks like they're prepping for a dive. Thankfully, that ward in the tri-brush will spot him out.
Oh, flash from Cube already. Hong and JackeyLove trying to threaten. Shen on the bottom side of the map. Teleport is coming in for 369 so that he can at least dodge the dive that was coming in from the 3-man from WE. And now 369, at least for now, will be able to escape the harassment. Kanavi looking for Karis under the tower. The flash early from Ari as Creme is super critically low on HP. Neither Kanavi and Creme can continue the dive.
And Olaf can't even show up in this mid wave. He would love to do so, but he knows that he has to get some camps, and really, he has to spend this gold. Now, Cube, by himself here in a 1v3. You're going to see how many turret plates can they get. Zed is coming, but Monki will be late, and he's already popping his ghost to get here on time.
Kanavi can clear these Krugs super fast, but I don't know if it's going to be fast enough before Monki shows up to at least cover for Cube. So now that Monki shows himself on the ward, the rest of Top Esports will back off for now. I do like the decision-making, though, from Kanavi early on. Even though I was disappointed about missing a potential setup onto Taeyoon, you're absolutely right that he gets out more efficiently with the early base from the fast clear. 2 long swords, aggressive, already burns a flash summoner spell from mid lane, as well as being able to cover the push from 369 on the bottom side of the map.
And the trade overall ends up being a little bit more even. I would say generally I would give this advantage over to Top Esports because 369 was allowed to farm. When we had the lane swap meta last year, top laners very rarely got access to actually finishing the minion kills. And that is one of the changes that they made with the lane swaps and lane swap detection. But in this matchup in particular, you've gotten Taeyoon about 10 CS over his opponent, but Cube is really far behind. And because he was leeching experience and he was having to be in the duo lane, he got less experience than 369 does. So he has a full level down. He will not have access to that Stand United as early as 369's ultimate will be.
And I wonder if 369 can just look for an opportunity to all-in him at level 6, because that will be a way to try and stymie Cube's ability to move to another side lane or bail someone out in a heavy skirmish or a heavy trade. And remember, Karis still does not have flash from the prior dive enacted by Kanavi. We'll see if Creme can set something up onto this Ari.
Taking a look, there's not too many objectives to play for. Kanavi is going to go towards his top side camps as they go to respawn. Maybe an answer on top side with the wave pushing. You can see that there's some pinks going over to the scuttle that is there. Will mean that WE do have some ability to play on this dragon. Monki already getting spotted out here, and what does Kanavi prioritize? Because he gets the scuttle and he's level 6 here. Does he go for a fight, or do they look for a dive before Cube has ultimate?
Attack top, attack top, attack top. I don't know if it's going to happen. I mean, Creme is walking back from mid lane. Maybe they can just try and look for Karis, but he will have Spirit Rush, so even though he is down flash, should still have enough escape tools to be able to get out away from a Death Mark and a full Tibber stun locked and loaded. So Kanavi is just going to continue holding his farm advantage, just clearing camps as they spawn as fast as possible. I don't know if there's really anything that they can play for early on.
And think about the juxtaposition of styles here. We're getting Kanavi playing for his own individual jungle lead, making sure that he's staying up to date on the camps and that he's refreshing them as soon as possible, finding himself already almost 3/4 of a lead of a level over his opponent. And for Monki, his champion is going to be relevant as the game goes on and is going to be more tailored towards what his team wants to eventually execute. So I want to see if Kanavi's actually going to do anything on this Zed, because you have targets, but I think a Shen and Granada makes it hard.
Monki. He knows that Karis just got chunked. He has Spirit Rush available, but he cannot save his jungler, and that is first blood for Kanavi Zed.
Okay, Kanavi, where does he go from here? There's topside camps respawning. He's moving his way bottom lane, and this wave is pushing. Top Esports, they can make a dive, and they can force summoner spells out from WE.
Good handshake from Vampire keeps Kong away, but Taeyoon is forced to pop the cleanse, threatening with the clone and the shurikens, and it's now both summoner spells out of Vampire and a cleanse from Taeyoon.
Kanavi's going to leave. He's going to give JackeyLove this time to hit the wave. Instead, looks like they're all going to recall. They're going to be late, however, for this objective. WE looking to skip over camps and go for these grubs. Top Esports, they do not want to allow this to happen, though. And 369 and Creme can move over.
proactive TP from Vampire so that he can assist Monki in burning down this objective as fast as possible. As Olaf, you can spam your undertones, you can spam your reckless swing. You might be able to at least get 2, if not all 3. Kanavi, though, is spotted over the wall. Looks like 2 grubs are secure for WE. Monki still has Smite. Kanavi's now into the pit, and he's got more friends on his side, but no death mark available now for another 30 seconds. Monki has the stand united. The taunt comes in from Cube, and Kanavi's forced to W over the wall, but Cube will fall with a flash over, and that ensures that the Shadow Ninja is gone. Creme forced out of the fight. Karis pursuing with the Spirit Rush. 369 slams Monki into the river, but is still forced to flash because the rest of WE are still stronger in the river.
And it's the Feats of Warfare going over to Team WE. A kind of early stand united there from Q, but it didn't matter. Still find Kanavi, still able to get the kills on this bottom lane. They got Hung and Creme here. So Karis finds an advantage. Taeyoon gets a kill. Things are looking good here for Team WE. A strong opener for them where they also got themselves 2 grubs. And this fight is a little all over the place. Part of why this top esports composition is so powerful is their first punch. If you can catch your opponents off guard, you can outrange them, and then very easy setup between the Annie and then having the Zed to follow up afterwards. But without all those tools in the right places, they kind of trickle in one by one and give WE the space that they need to execute on this composition.
Yeah, top esports have to be able to coordinate a lot better next time, knowing that when they are together, this can be a very powerful burst composition and pick off members one after another, but when they're scattered, that WE would love to be able to excel in those individual skirmishes. WE find themselves picking up the Feat of Warfare. They have 2 objectives to their name, so they're 1 objective away from being able to claim Feats of Strength in this Game 3 of the series.
Jesus, Taeyoon just got back to lane and he's already down to 40% here. We're not as in the area, but Monkey's like, too bad, man, I got camps. I got respawn raptors, there's a scuttle that I could potentially go to contest. You can see that Karis and Creme are jockeying for position as to who is allowed to move first. It is Creme on this Annie. And for the time being, Kanavi still feeling fine, already completed that Eclipse and can feel a little bit more empowered to walk up in some of these other lanes, especially so with an Annie on your team.
Yep. Point and click stun should guarantee the majority of Zed's burst damage to follow through without any outplay from the side of WE. 369 still has a massive CS lead over Q, but he has been able to at least healthily sustain against 369's harass ever since he picked up those steel-plated caps, and now WE, the next time that they can wait for the Stand United to come off cooldown, Q will be willing to give up even more farm over because 369 has yet to find an advantage. That being said, he just based, and he now has a Trinity Force.
If they can abuse a Shen's base cooldowns and all of his kit to essentially just be down 30 CS but still win this game, I think it's an impressive study here from WE.
Flash from Karis, looks for the charm. Creme gets pulled in by the handshake. That's the Annie gone. But she did do a decent amount of burst damage onto Monkey's Olaf. JackeyLove trying to now poke with these piercing arrows, and 369 has arrived to the party. He's still in mini form, but he can try and fish for boomerangs. Another good charm from Karis. JackeyLove throws out the chain of corruption. Taeyoon goes forward, but now Deathmark can just pop on top of him, and he's not going to get the reset with the bailout. Monkey tries to pop the Ragnarok, see if he can turn it around. Stand United's coming in from Cube. It's going to give Monkey everything he needs to carry the remainder of this fight. Cube dashes in, forces the flash out of Kanavi, and somehow, some way, WE still win the fight.
Creme is going to teleport back in. They can't start this dragon from the side of Team WE. They're going to get forced off of this objective, and we're going to get a reset from all of our teams. A very close fight there, but WE get to use those champions that are so strong in this instance. Cooldown's gone. Creme no longer in that fight. As a free firing zone there from Monki. If Taeyoon hadn't stepped forward, I feel like WE could have gotten so much more. I mean, watch this replay. How are you, as top esports, ever meant to play with a Olaf who is holding Ragnarok, and you have a Renata next to him, who is still having the ultimate? Like, I'm watching this fight, and I'm thinking, it doesn't matter if Monki is 30% HP. He has Ragnarok, he has all of his teammates still around him. Just let this Renata set up with this ultimate and kind of rip apart this team.
I think the only way I can cope for Taeyoon is that by him giving up his life, Monki gets a chance to step forward because there's no death mark, and he has the rest of the supportive tools to keep Monki alive for the second half of the fight. You can choose to believe it or not, But for WE, they are still keeping themselves ahead in this game.
防御塔镀层即将脱落。
Huh?
Did they disconnect? I think they disconnected.
Oh, okay. I felt like I thought I was disconnecting because I pulled on my cord. But we're good. We're okay. We're alive. Top laners are fighting. We got Dragon here. Vampire!
With the handshake flash read on the Kanavi. He has no flash. He's forced to use the Death Mark. Tries to pop Vampire, but even through the bailout, he doesn't even need it. Oh wait, Kanavi gets another last-minute shield. He
needs it.
Vampire before getting going down, and Taeyoon just deletes JackeyLove in the other isolated skirmish. Karis is going crazy on this Ahri.
And Top Esports lose another fight where WE can get the second dragon. That'll be Fates of Strength completed there for Team WE. They are making what was supposed to be the unthinkable happen. They are the 7th best team in the LPL right now in Group Ascend, and they are potentially about to take down the first place team in Top Esports.
Take a look back at this replay once again, and Vampire makes the beautiful read as the handshake still brings Kanavi back in.
That was really well played here, and then I'm watching this. Yes, this is Kanavi, but I'm looking the other side of this fight. Taeyoon is 1v2 versus JackeyLove. Oh, this is the other half of the fight. I don't know if we need to really see two replays of this, but all right. He goes Transcendent, Shadow steps over, flashes to dodge out on this ultimate, and he still is able to get hung during all of this. Oh, it's JackeyLove instead. Even better.
Even though Taeyoon died in the second dragon fight in the river, he's able to make up for it in the 1v2 isolated skirmish there. And now this Lunara is accelerated. 1.5 items. Karis, incredibly, astronomically fed on this Ahri. About 1.5 thousand gold ahead against Creme's Annie. Nice thing for Top Esports is that Annie will still provide CC for someone to get locked down, but she is the only magic damage source on this team.
I just want to check real quick. I'm looking at our Twitch polls right here, right before the Herald. 73% of fans in the chat thought that Top Esports were going to win. I think that says a lot for the expectations of this match.
Oh no. Okay, well 369 gets collapsed. He's able to flash the undertow, still has enough HP to fight again. Monki has Stand United coming through. Cube is able to taunt JackeyLove. He cleanses
He's alive!
But can he get out? Cube is looking for one more taunt dash, but he cannot close the distance. JackeyLove still contributing with piercing arrows, but the rest of the fight is going WE's way! As once again, Taeyoon finds himself transcendent above the rest of Top Esports and picks up a triple.
That's going to be a turret as well going over to WE. No fight can look bad when you have a Olaf rampaging into the backline. He didn't need the Renata to be there because basically he takes out so much HP. 369 and Creme floundering. Look at this game. My solo lanes are 2-5-2 in this game. We could not get the advantage from the Gnar early on, and Creme is just getting taken advantage of in the mid lane. This is not a good look here for Top Esports. I think a lack of discipline here from 369. Like, look at where your team is. Nowhere nearby. We now do not have Flash. We will not have Mega Gnar available for the upcoming Herald fight. I do not understand the idea of what 369 is going for. Look at Karis' build. He has Rod of Ages. He's not going to be as much DPS, but he has a hell of a lot of HP.
I can understand if 369 thinking that he could chunk out Karis before the fight. We're back to live! Oh my goodness! Kanavi was able to at least steal or smite the Rift Herald away, but no one can walk in to claim the eye, so in the end, the objective goes to no one, and WE win another fight.
JackeyLove loses Flash. Hung is dead again, not on an engaged champion. What did we say from the draft? Hung not on engaged looks a little bit different and is not the same kind of player. This entire series has been a little wonky and all over the place from Top Esports. I feel like they are not playing at their regular level that we saw from them even just a week ago for this team. And they are floundering, kind of slipping towards the end of the regular season. Maybe a slide in form. Maybe they're just taking it easy as we go into playoffs so they don't choke there too.
Looking for Monki. They know that there is no Shen ultimate. The Death Mark should be able to pop him, but the bailout, don't tell me he lives. They finally get a chance to pop the Viking.
Oh, Taeyoon!
But Taeyoon comes over the wall. He just flashes and he goes Transcendent once again. He's in a 1v3. He's got Karis now to back him up. Good charm. Catches Hong. Sets up another one, but Kanavi goes crazy. Is able to dash the Shadow Clone and pick up a shutdown onto Taeyoon.
And that is the fight that 369 and the rest of Top Esports needed to have. A turret in top lane for themselves, and now some time for Top Esports to actually hit these waves and farm. That was 3 kills going over to them. And I don't know what Taeyoon's doing, man. This guy believes he's Superman or what? Flashing into 3 members, doesn't even get the kill on the Hung. We were in a replay when we saw this. We get to come back out of a replay to see this. Flash out from JackeyLove, okay. You killed Hung, whatever. The eye doesn't go over to you, but this one is fine. Obviously, Top Esports don't know that Vampire is here. But you got a lot of things that I would say are pretty worth if you are TES in this trade.
The fact that Kanavi is able to stay alive through the constant shields of both Creme's Annie as well as Hong's Karma keeps this ninja so alive for so long that Kanavi is able to wait on cooldowns, get back into the fray. Even though I called for Serpent's Fang to be built a little bit earlier, I can respect the Black Cleaver being rushed because he had the economy for it. It gives him the ability haste to spam these abilities. Now WE trying to burn down this dragon. Kanavi and Creme step up. Monki goes crazy. He's got the Stand United shield, but Kanavi tries to go back in. Deathbar trying to play Dance Simulator on them, just burning all these cooldowns. Bang, an arm from 369 throws the ball into the wall. Kanavi, that was beautiful. He caught WE slipping and made them all look the wrong way. Top Esports get the dragon, and they completely wipe WE.
Oh, WE, don't throw this game. You were in such a good spot not 10 minutes ago, and now they're floundering again in all of these fights. I think Monki's ultimate ran out as the bailout was coming through for Vampire, so he couldn't move. He was rooted thanks to Hong. And now that was the dragon, the 2 fights in a row around this bottom side, and an Otacon and a turret. Top Esports are about to make a huge gold swing, down 2,000 gold, now up almost 4.5, 5,000. The Stand United, I'm just watching Monki. He's way too far up. The longest tether from Hung. How does he get stunned here? This has to be this ultimate from... So bailout.
Oh, Tibbers.
Yeah, Tibbers comes in. Creme. I had said that the early game did not look good there from 369 and Creme. And one fight doesn't change everything. But with how this game is looking, their Top Esports are more and more likely to win this game now that they've taken 2 fights back to back.
And they got not only the 3rd dragon, stopping the dragon stacking from WE, but they also got the Otacon in the same sequence. So this is a huge, huge gold swing for Top Esports. And I cannot state enough that things were looking a little questionable for the side of Top Esports. You highlighted it beautifully. The solo laners were not really putting in their work, and Kanavi, while fantastic Zed player, was not really finding a lot of strong advantages, but that fight alone, he opened up all the space necessary for everyone else from Top Esports to walk in, because WE were so caught trying to lock down Kanavi, they ended up tripping over themselves playing Twister.
They also just didn't have their flashes, right? Remember, Taeyoon flashed over the wall, doesn't have it for this fight, so for this next upcoming fights, the dragon spawning in 3, the Baron, and the same timer, Taeyoon will have a little bit more agency, and that is what we're really relying on. Someone else on this team does have to step up. It can't just be Monki. And Monki is falling very far behind. He's even in camps, but he's 3,000 gold behind Kanavi, which doesn't feel great. It's going to be a dead man's play completed now for this Olaf. So either Taeyoon or Karis have to be the ones. I have to think. Completed Kraken Slayer, completed Runons. This Yunara should be able to win fights.
WE just need to make sure that they are putting the tools on the right carry that will win them those fights. And for what we have seen so far, Cube has focused all of his Stand United ultimates on Monki, trying to allow him to be the main distraction, the main backline threat against Top Esports. But that might have to shift in priority as Cube potentially under fire. I'm assuming 369 was just trying to clear the wave. I don't know if he missed on Cube or not. Could have been.
Happens.
Thankfully, it's a short cooldown this late.
Yeah.
For Meganar.
It is the teleport now coming in for Creme, so top wave's going to be missing. An overforce here from WE. Why are we splitting waves between 3 members? I think they're afraid that they were going to try and dive Q, but... Oh, Karis. That was the death mark, I think, coming out. No, so he still has it,
No.
but he did a large amount of damage over to Karis. This will be two waves now that Top Esports get to play on, both mid and bottom lane.
3 items Zed, now with the Serpent's Fang in inventory. This is a very, very scary Zed from the side of Top Esports, and he can now start to threaten full combos without even expending the death mark, just to chunk out some of these squishier carries. 369 about to hit Mega off of the hop here. Does Top Esports want to threaten this mid-tier 2? There's no Dragon for another 50 minutes, so we'll see if 369 can get his Mega Rage bar back up in time.
If the dragon doesn't spawn for 50 minutes, we might have a chrono break.
50 seconds, 50 seconds.
I know what you were going for. It's okay. Yeah, the 3 items Zed is very, very powerful, and what Top Esports have basically done in the last minute and a half is say these 3 bottom camps you are supposed to have access to as Olaf, not going to be the case. Almost 2 levels difference between Monki and Kanavi right now. Monkey's going to... The items he have in his inventory are going to be as good as it's going to get. Remember, he has a Shen and a Renata to empower him as this Olaf, so we need to see if he can get stuff done here as essentially the main crux of this composition. He has some backup dancers for sure, but WE are now walking into the river, and 2 of their main carries are half HP to start.
Oh, flash from Creme for Tibbers right onto the front line, and it's Karis that gets dropped. Monki tries to send it, but he gets dropped immediately after 2. 369, flash Mega Gnar onto the back line. Top Esports, led by Kanavi on the Zed, are able to just delete WE from the game.
That's going to be the Baron as well. Top Esports, man, it just feels like they can do no wrong. Even when the early game doesn't go their way, even when WE look like they're going to absolutely slam home a Game 3 victory and upset them, we call it too early. Top Esports, and specifically Kanavi, stand tall on this Zed where we may have had doubts during this game.
It was definitely looking rough in the first half. They had us, not gonna lie. But Top Esports are able to bring it back, and through persistence and sheer will, they're able to find enough fights, rely on Kanavi's prowess in this champion, and is able to abuse so many times. The biggest thing, Alk, is just look at how many times Kanavi is able to chunk out carries like Taeyoon before even walking to her.
Yeah, again, 50% HP already. JackeyLove as well also lands some pretty good damage. This was a fantastic snap coming in from Creme. He knows that Karis can't be that far up. Same thing there for Monki. He's like, hey guys, I'm going in, and Vampire's like, well, I've been hit with the Chains of Corruption, so I can't give you bailout. I think that WE are making this game a little too fast, and a lot of their fights are happening before they are all in position there. You need to be able to wait for your support, especially in Vampire. You have no real engage as WE, so Monki and the rest of this team, who he is the leader of, they need to synchronize themselves a little bit more.
And while this series has mostly been about the conversation of JackeyLove and Monki are 2 leaders in the MVP race for the regular season, Kanavi steps up, reminds everyone, hey guys, I won regular season MVP in Split 2, and is now able to pull out a pretty damn powerful Zed performance where he is level 16, 3 levels above Olaf, 3 levels above the squishiest carry on WE side in Taeyoon. Alk, do you get to play the game as an AD carry against a level 16 Zed?
No, but as you can see for Taeyoon, he has made a few decisions in this game that have led me to believe he didn't want to play this game in the first place. I'm still kind of bent out of shape about the red buff flash, I'll be honest. And Monki has for sure decided that this game is not going on for very long. So they're going to get themselves another turret. Still Baron here, a minute left for Top Esports. And WE just feel like they're lost. They're trying to find anything on that. There's no jungle camps for them to take. There's no objectives for them to play for because they're so far pushed into their base and they don't have any ways to play. Look at Monki!
Creme? Monki's trying to dive Creme by himself, and even with the Stand United Shield, he cannot survive much longer. Cube gets caught by the Chain of Corruptions. Look at Kanavi diving into the back line, looks for the Death Mark onto Karis and Vampire, goes back in with the Shadow Clone, looks for another one, finally gets dropped by Cube in the end. But Top Esports should still be strong enough to make the siege.
I've been so happy. 1,100 gold, a huge shutdown onto Kanavi. goes to Vampire. Huge, big moves coming on through. This is a teleport. I think this might just be end of the game. 10 seconds, and there's nobody from WE that can stop these waves.
To be fair, it was Cube that got the shutdown, but I think your point still stands.
Oh, even worse.
Maybe this Shen will pick up a Titanic Hydra. Oh, no. He's building Randuin, so he's just going to be tanky. Unfortunately, he will not really threaten with a lot of backline.
Like, what is Monki doing here? He's almost 10% HP before he's activated his Ragnarok. I mean, look, what has been our narrative all season long? Live by Monki, you die by Monki.
Die by Monki.
And as we speak,
Monki is about to die again, but he gets one last shield, the bailout. Can he come through? Nope, he cannot get through the Karma shield, and JackeyLove is able to survive through it all. Picks himself a double, and now 369 doesn't have flash, but he tries to get in range, throws a house at Vampire, slows him down. Gonna be able to pick it up for a boomerang toss. Top Esports not going to be able to clinch any more members here and try to lock them down, but they will push into the base, probably for the win here.
Well, if it's not mid-wave, it'll be on that bottom lane wave as well. Creme kind of waiting for for Tibbers to die so that he can get his cooldown back. Monki spawns in 15, Karis in 20. But Top Esports are looking to put the finishing touches. What has been a pretty back-and-forth series with our 7th place team.
WE had us in the first half, but Top Esports now trying to put the finishing touches on the second half. Death mark onto Vampire. Kanavi getting caught out by the handshake. Does not matter. He's got a GA for a second life anyway. Monki tries to turn it around and make one last Hail Mary and saving the game, but he gets destroyed by Creme's Annie, and the rest of Top Esports will do away one after another on the remaining members of WE. The Miracle 3 win streak dream is completely dead, as Karis does find himself JackeyLove in the end, but there are still 3 members. A quadra kill for Creme's Annie will finish the series in style for Top Esports.
All right, so we come out of this game. Immediately what I'm thinking about, WE can no longer get 5th, but they can get 6th, you know?
Yeah.
And now with JJ on FPX, 8th place could be anybody's.
Oh, FPX have 2 more series. JDG have... Producer Kai, can you bring up the standings real quick? Is that possible?
I don't think they're updated that fast.
You're the GOAT.
They are. Woke.
Oh my. Dude. Shout out to Kai, y'all. He is putting in work on this Super Saturday.
Anyway,
as we get
what did you want to get standings.
To? So, WE now 2-10. They have 2 more series left to play. Yep. JDG have 11 series. They have 3 more series to play. FPX have 2 more series to play as well. So, if WE want to make it to at least 6 and not in the dreaded 7th, 8th seed spot, they will have to win their last 2 series, and JDG cannot win a single one.
Well, they're going up against AL next, and then they have Weibo and Weibo twice. So JDG's last 3 series, JDG have not been able to beat a team above them in the standings. They've only beaten up on WE and FPX the entire season.
But the funny thing is they have yet to play against Weibo, so that... The way you phrase that could still technically be true by the time we get to their meeting. If you think about it.
I don't know. I'm looking at it. WE are in a really tough spot. And look, to be honest, they locked themselves at the bottom of these standings very early on. We were halfway through the split. They'd already lost a bunch of series. It became impossible for them to make it outside of the top 4. But this is like the most heartbreaking thing. And this is why I've always kind of said for WE and Split 3, they are not a team that I think is reflective of a 2-10 scoreline. They're probably like a 4-8 team, if we're being honest. Probably closer to a Weibo scoreline than a FPX scoreline. But these Game 3s have been really tragic, and honestly, even performances like we got today from Monki in Games 2 and Games 3 was not the form that we want from a player that I think some people might even have on an All-Pro ballot.
Yeah. The best way to summarize WE instead of looking at series score, you look at their game score and wins, because they have 1 more game win over Weibo, and they have 2 more game wins over JDG. So there is a world that they could have easily overtaken them in the standings.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for them,
For sure.
just could not close out the 3rd game of multiple series.
Have they considered just winning? I mean,
I don't know, Alk.
yeah.
As you called out, I think maybe Taeyoon did not when he flashed over the red buff wall.
It may have been an act of protest, because there were some things in that game that as an 80 carry player I would not have been happy about. I mean, he got solo experience, which is nice, but I don't think it's incredibly meaningful when you're playing Yunara. Again, kind of a new champion, still trying to figure out the lengths that teams will be able to go for, and
Yeah.
also you're playing into Varus, right? Like this bot lane matchup was never going to be fun for you. But I think this is very easily a Kanavi MVP game. He earned it for his performance individually, and I don't know. I'm like in a daze, because that game probably ended a lot sooner than the game time on the screen showed.
There's a part of me, Alk, though, that because of the quadra kill that Creme picked up near the end, and because his damage looked nice, and because he also had to find some initiations, I still think it should be Kanavi, because Kanavi's...
That brother's not picking it up.
I'm just saying, if it happens, well, yeah, we'll know why. But Kanavi's, how should I say this? Him getting WE completely tripped up over themselves in the Dragon Pit was the best play of the entire game.
Yeah. Just, sorry, I'm...
Flashbang. Flashbang.
All right. I'm okay. Right here. Here's that play that you were talking about. Beautiful stuff. Kanavi definitely learning some tips from Tarzan from the finals that we got to see versus BLG. I know Azale was a very big fan of that Zed play. I would probably rate this 1 out of 10 on the Tarzan scale. I'd probably give it a 6 or a 7. There's still some moments here from Kanavi that I don't think were as clean, but I don't know, man. Monki, I don't want to say Monki like ruined the game, but there was definitely a lot of points where I really wished if there was a way that we could get like an arena augment here. You get Chauffeur for Vampire and attach yourself so you become a Yumi bot.
Yeah.
That's like, that would have been primo for our Olaf tonight.
There was just a point in the game where Kanavi hit enough ability haste, and his shadow clones are just coming up so often that it creates this threat, constant zone of threat where they're expecting and waiting for the Zed to pop out so they can try to capitalize him, because if they do not anticipate it, then he pops out, he does a crap ton of burst damage on you, but then he has so many ways to outplay and be able to dash in between or blink in between all of his shadows. He becomes so obnoxious the later the game goes on. Obviously, it does come down to execution at the end of the day, and for Kanavi, he was able to pull it off when it mattered most.
I don't know. This was a mess of a game. I'm really disappointed, honestly, in WE, which sucks because I've been so excited about what they could potentially do in Split 3, and I've just had to spend 40-something days being very sad watching them.
The same story almost happening every single series we get into. Whether it's the first game or the second game, they pull off this massive stomp, and we're thinking, oh my god, WE are going to do it! And then by the time we get to game 3...
At least JDG let me know, like, very early on in the Split 2 that this team was never going anywhere. This was... There was... I took the hopium from Split 2. Yep, and that's going to be Kanavi taking his MVP. So...
Deserved.
Well deserved for his Zed performance. And that's it for this series. Again, Top Esports now continue their playoff berth. They are now going to be 11-2. Which does mean that Billy and Invictus Gaming will have to win out in the rest of their series, and that isn't possible for those two teams, as BLG and IG will play each other for one of the last games of the season.
things are all winding down and giving us some of the most tense matches to close out the Rumble stage. With this, Top Esports, though, moved to 11-2 overall in the standings, so they are one step closer to solidifying their sole possession of first place seed. But before we close out the broadcast for tonight, we still got one more series.
Oh my God, scared me.
Don't worry. We still got one more series, y'all, and it's between Weibo and IG, so make sure you grab yourself some extra snacks, some extra drinks, because we still have at least 2 more, if not 3 more games coming your way.